We're going to take a look at bearings in this video. So bearings are used in navigation, especially where you wouldn't have roads or things to tell you where you need to go. So for example, if you were a pilot flying a plane or a captain of a ship or even hiking, you would use bearings to work out your direction. So just as a starter, we'll take a look at this diagram here. So bearings, we need to remember, are always measured clockwise from north, due north, and they're normally written using 3 digits. So the first question here says, what is the bearing from O to A? Now this is O here, and because we're going from O, that's where we're going, that's where our direction north is from. And then to A is this direction here. So what we want is that angle. And that angle is going to be 90 degrees minus this 20 degrees here. So 90 minus 20 gives us 70. So the bearing in 3 digits would be 070 degrees. Okay, the next one says, what is the bearing from O to B? So this time here, we're going from O, again, from the center, to B. So that means we're traveling in this direction here. So now, from north, we would need to go all the way around here. So we know, because we're told that this is 45 degrees, we know that this bit here must also be 45 degrees. So that bearing all the way from north has to be 90 plus 45, which is 135. And so the bearing is 135 degrees. Okay, you also could have looked at that one. If you're going from north to south, that's going to be 180 degrees, so you could have done 180 minus that 45. So either way will get you to a bearing of 135. Okay, what is the bearing from O to C? So again, starting from O, and now we're going to C, so all the way up in this direction here. So that means we need to go from north all the way around here. So you can tell that that angle there is going to be pretty big. It's almost a full circle. It's almost 360 degrees. So from north all the way to west, that's going to be 270 degrees. And then we need to add this 73 degrees here. So we've got 270 plus 73, which gives us a bearing of 343 degrees. Okay, this is an example of a word problem, and you're going to need to be able to draw yourself a diagram in order to complete these questions properly. So we've got a ship, and it travels due south for 4 kilometers. So due south means, like, if I start here, I'm going due south. I'm going to be going straight down like that. Okay, so that distance is 4 kilometers. So that's that bit, due south for 4 kilometers. Okay, then I go on a true bearing of 150 degrees. So that means 150, like if I went this way, east, that would be 90 degrees. If I kept going south, that would be 180 degrees. So I need to be going sort of somewhere in the middle, so about like that. So that is 150 degrees, approximately. Okay, and I'm doing that for 9 kilometers, and that's where my ship ends up. So the first question says, find how far east the ship is from its starting point. So basically what I want is I just want to know how far east it went. So I want to know, like, that length there, or you can look at it as sort of that length there if you want to draw your right angle triangle. So it's gone from being over here to there in an east direction. So you can see now that I've got a right angle triangle, and what I want is that length there. Okay, in my right angle triangle, I'm going to need this angle, which is going to be 90 minus 150, so 60 degrees. And now I can use my SOHCAHTOA, so that angle is 60, x is the adjacent side, and 9 is obviously my hypotenuse. So I'm going to use my cosine ratio. So the cos of 60 is equal to the adjacent, which is x, I want to find out, divided by 9. So to work out x, I do 9 times the cos of 60 degrees, and putting that in my calculator, I get 4.5 kilometers. So I'm 4.5 kilometers east of where I started, or the ship is. In this next bit, I want to find out how far south the ship is from its starting point, and it's telling me I need to round to 2 decimal places. So this was the ship's starting point, and in terms of a southerly direction, it went from there to there. Or, sorry, I've just gone just a bit past, but you can see the ship is that far south. So basically, I've got another right angle triangle here. I can actually, yeah, so I'll just put my right angle triangle there. And I need to find this whole southerly length, but I know from there to there already is 4. So what I need to work out is this. So I'll call this y. Okay. This angle here is going to be 30 degrees because that one was 60. And then what else do I know? I know that the hypotenuse is 9. So again, y is my adjacent side, and I can do that the cos of 30 degrees now is equal to y over 9. So to solve for y, I'm going to do 9 times the cos of 30, which to 2 decimal places gives me 7.79. And now to answer the question how far south I went, that's going to be 7.79, so that length there, plus the 4 kilometers that I went originally, which is 11.79 kilometers south. Okay, so you're probably ready to do a few exercises now from chapter 4D, so give those a go.